In this video, I'll show you my 5 top tips for doing brake jobs. Let's get right into it with number 1. Work smart, not hard. On the front of your car, turn your steering wheel so you have more room to work with. This way, you'll be able to get access to your bolts and slider pins much easier. Unfortunately for the rear brakes, you can't exactly do this. Now, some ratcheting wrenches will be a lifesaver here. They work similarly to sockets, but take up a fraction of the space. They do cost a bit more than solid wrenches, but are a well worth investment. Number 2, don't let your brake caliper hang. Use something to suspend it so the weight of the caliper isn't on the brake hose. Use a bungee cord, a metal coat hanger, or something like this that's designed to hold them. It's a simple metal hanger that suspends the caliper onto the spring. With the caliper suspended like this, you're not going to be putting any pressure on the brake line. Number 3, lube it up. Now, nobody likes it dry. 3M copper anti-seize and 3M silicone paste are by far the best forms of lubrication for brake jobs. They make sure that everything slides nicely and doesn't corrode. For your slider pins, make sure that you use the silicone paste liberally, as it allows both of your slider pins to slide freely, which means you'll get even brake wear. Also, because it's a silicone-based lubricant, it won't break down the rubber boot. Use the copper anti-seize where the brake pads come in contact with the shims. This way, you won't get any brake noise and your pads will slide nicely. Now, the same thing goes for the back side of the rotor. Put a light coating of the copper anti-seize on the back of it. This way, the next time you need to remove your brake rotor, it won't be seized to the hub. I've had to do brake jobs before where the rotor was seized completely, and the only way to remove it was to beat on it repeatedly with a hammer. Putting anti-seize on the back side of it will eliminate this problem completely. Number 4, throw it away. The little screws that hold the rotor to the hub can be very annoying if they're rusted. If it's been on the car for a while, it can seize to the back side of the hub, as the top of the screw will be exposed once it's threaded in. The only way to remove the rotor at that point is to drill the screw out completely. So if you can get it off fairly easily, either throw it out and not have to worry about it ever again, or put some copper anti-seize on the threads after you removed any rust from it. The only purpose for these screws is to hold the rotor onto the hub so it doesn't move while you perform other work on the brakes. Number 5, Piston Care. Before you push it in, clean it and lube it up. So before you push your piston back into the caliper, you should clean the piston and remove any gunk on there so that you don't introduce dirt back into the brake fluid. With the gunk removed, get some silicone paste and apply some between the rubber boot and the piston. This way, when you push the piston in, it will push back into the caliper without an issue. You can use the proper tool to push a caliper back in, or to save a few bucks, you can use a large C-clamp and slowly compress it until it stops. Bonus tip, get rid of as much rust as you can. If you have any rust on your slider pins, your bleeder screws, or on the face of the hub, remove it. It doesn't matter if you use a wire brush, a wire wheel attached to a drill, or a bench grinder with a brass wheel. By doing this, you'll extend the life and increase the performance of your brakes. Have you ever heard of the saying that if you don't use it, you lose it? Well, it applies here. If you don't use your bleeder screw, it'll rust out and you won't be able to bleed your brakes. By following these simple steps, you'll be able to do your brake job without any problems. If you're looking for a full-length DIY on how to change your pads and rotors, both front and back, then check out the link in the description or wait for the end annotations. If you have any questions regarding the video, please post your comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.